හරිම සුමුදුයි.
Tonight on First at 9 this Sunday the 24th of March 2024. Fixing health. President Wickremesinghe claims the government and health professionals are responsible to ensure good and affordable health care. Highlights the importance of a far-sighted vision. Crisis averted. Sri Lanka's medicine shortage down from 280 to 56 medicines, reveals the health secretary. The Inquisition. Former President Maithripala Sirisena to report to the CID to provide a statement. IGP reveals possibility of arrest at the end of inquiry. Combating corruption. SJP to set up independent public prosecutor's office to curb corruption, reveals MP Eran Wickramaratne. Further highlights plans to introduce a stolen assets recovery law.
ඔබේ විශ්වාසය දෙනු සෙන්සුරයින් දැන් ළඟමැති ෆාමසියෙන් ලබාගත හැක.
From Ada Derana, this is Ada Derana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
Good evening and welcome to Ada Derana First at 9. I'm Aditya Drisingha joining you live with the latest in Sri Lanka and around the world. Now, adding on to his recent remarks on the trajectory of the country's health sector amid rapid technological advancements, President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted that both the government and health sector professionals are responsible to ensure that the public has access to good and affordable health care. Addressing an event in Polonnaruwa, the head of state called for a comprehensive dialogue on the healthcare transformation of the country. Speaking further, President Wickremesinghe highlighted the importance of transitioning into an export-oriented economy to ease Sri Lanka's debt repayment woes. Meanwhile, on the matter of debt restructuring, the President revealed that the government hopes to conclude debt restructuring agreements with the nation's creditors by July this year. Addressing the one-day workshop on leadership and skills development organised by the Government Medical Officers Association in Polonnaruwa yesterday, President Ranil Wickremesinghe highlighted the need for a comprehensive dialogue on healthcare transformation in Sri Lanka.
We have to look at the future in the long term. We are all going through transformation. Now what we have done is at the moment is stabilization of the economy. That is, we come back to a position that we are capable of paying our debts. So we have reached that. I think we finished the discussions with the IMF, and by June, July, I hope to come to the agreements with the creditor nations and the individual creditors. So by July that we are no longer a nation in debt, so the normal banking system can operate. But it means we will also have a longer period to pay the debt till 2042 and a period of grace. But at the end of it, we have to pay the debts. It's not the problem there. It is that we'll have to take more debts because we are an import-dependent economy. So our first one is the restructuring of the economy to become export-oriented economy by 2035 onwards, certainly by 2040. Then we have no issue of repaying our debts. Secondly is when you have fast growth, you must not have a big disparity between the people. So we are committing ourselves to reducing the multi-dimensional poverty in the country. Generally, a well-developed country would have 7 or 8% multi-dimensional poverty. We are saying the maximum is 10% by mid of the next decade. Today it's different. You know all the illnesses that are associated and new pandemics that can come. So how do we gear our health system? I don't think we can do the way we have been doing. Then what do you do about our hospitals? How are you going to equip them with artificial intelligence, robotics, all coming in? The whole medical scene will change and it's going to be more expensive, but we should certainly ensure that our people have a good medical service. So if you plan now in the next 10-15 years, you can go ahead 10 years to see how you do the transformation. The more we grow fast, the more exports we have, more resources we have for the education and the health sector and even housing. So those three is something we are all committed to. Though you have open market economy, in this the key issue is going to be health. All this has to be discussed rationally without politicizing it, and then to look at how we go ahead.
Can you feel it?
Dulux Pentolite Hygiene Plus. Refreshing walls for generations.
Now bringing to you more news surrounding the country's health sector. In the recent past, a possible shortage of pharmaceutical drugs in the country was at the centre of national attention since it threatened to bring down Sri Lanka's health sector to its knees. Averting such a catastrophic scenario and its adverse repercussions, Secretary to the Ministry of Health, Dr. Palitha Mahipala, claims that the shortage of medicine has been brought down from 280 medicines to 56 medicines currently in short supply. Speaking at the most recent Committee on Public Accounts hearing, Dr. Mahipala revealed an upward trend in the distribution of medicine to the public island-wide. Meanwhile, the Health Secretary also claimed that the disbursement of funds from the Treasury to the Health Ministry has also seen a positive development.
සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයේ මේ සිද්ධ වෙච්ච කාරණාත් එක්ක ඉස්සරහට බයක් තියෙනවා බෙහෙත් තියෙනවද නැද්ද ඉදිරියට අනාගතේ. දැන් ඔබතුමාලා යම්සි විදිහක ස්ට්‍රික්ට් කරලා තියෙනවා බොහෝ දේවල්.
ඔව් ලේකම්තුමා බෙහෙත් හිගයක් තියෙනවද?
ඖෂධ සැපීමේ විශාල ප්‍රගතියක් පසුගිය කාලේ අපි ඇති කරලා තිනවා. ඖෂධ සැපීමේ ඒ වැඩිවීමක් තියෙනවා රෝහල් වල. මේ අවස්ථාවේ ආයතනවල අඩු ඖෂධ ප්‍රමාණය 56ක් 860කින්. එතකොට බොහෝ ආයතනවල මේ 56ම නෑ නෙමෙයි. වයිටල් බෙහෙත් කියලා තියෙනවා ඖෂධ ඒවා 14ම තියෙනවා මේ අවස්ථාවේදී. අපි නැෂනල් ඩේටාබේස් එක බැලුවාම 188ක් අඩුයි MSD එකේ. ඒ 188 අඩු වෙන්න එක හේතුවක් තමයි මේකෙන් 84ක් SPMC ආයතනය නිෂ්පාදනය කරන ඖෂධ ඒක අපි MSD එකට ගේන්නේ නැහැ. ජාතික වශයෙන් 188ක් අඩුයි එක් රෝහල් වශයෙන් ගත්තාම සමහර රෝහල් වල ඖෂධ 8යි 10යි අඩු. සමහර තැන්වල 20යි 18යි ඒ වගේ. සියල්ලම එක්කව කරපුවම තමයි 56ක ඖෂධ අඩුවක් තියෙන්නේ 860න්. ඉතින් මේක 280ක විතර ఔෂධ හිගයක් තිබිච්ච එක තමයි මේ තත්ත්වය දක්වා ආවේ.
ඔව් අර දත්ත පද්ධතිය ගැන ඔබතුමා සෑහීමකටපත් වෙනවද?
100%ක් නැතුණත් මට කියන්න පුළුවන් 95කටත් වඩා යම් යම් තැන්වල හදිස්සිය ඇති වෙන්න පුළුවන් ගැටලු
දැන් ඇත්තෙන්ම භාණ්ඩාගාරයෙන් සහ මුදල් සෞඛ්‍ය අමාත්‍යාංශයෙන් තමයි ඉස්සෙල්ලාම දෙන්නේ. කලින් සැරේ මෙහි මාස 3කට වැඩි බිල් සේරම ගෙව්වා කියලා කිව්වා. නමුත් මෙහි කිව්වේ සල්ලි ගෙව්වේ නැහැ කියලා. දැන් ඒ ප්‍රශ්නේ විසඳිලාද?
දැන් ඔබතුමාලා කියන විදිහට හිග නැහැ සල්ලි හැම කෙනෙකුටම ගෙවලා.
100%ක් නෙමෙයි ගරු මන්ත්‍රීතුමනි.
කොච්චරක් විතරද හිතන්නේ?
බොහෝ ලයිස්තුවක් වශයෙන් කියන්න බෑ.
මුදල් අමාත්‍යාංශයේ සල්ලි දීලා නැත්තම් භාණ්ඩාගාරේ දීලා නැත්තම් ඒකත් කියන්න
හොඳයි ගරු සභාපතිතුමනි අපි ගාව ඒ විස්තර තියෙනවා හැබැයි සමස්තයක් වශයෙන් භාණ්ඩාගාරයෙන් අපිට මුදල් ලැබීමේ හොඳ ප්‍රගතියක් තියෙනවා ඒක.
While highlighting his party's commitment to tackle corruption and robbery, parliamentarian of the Samagi Jana Balawegaya, Iran Vikramaratne, noted that his party will introduce an independent prosecutor's office empowered to take legal action against any government official, including parliamentarians and ministers, suspected of corruption. Speaking in our current affairs program at Hyde Park with Indivari Amuwatta, the SJB MP said a government led by his party will certainly introduce a law to recover stolen assets. Further, MP Vikramaratne said a SJB government will take steps to amend the IMF agreement following discussions with the global lender.
National People's Power, they say the NPP that bring parliamentarians or even ministers, corrupt ministers of the past before the law. But you say a system is possible and it is only your party that is capable of doing that. What alternative you bring to the table here?
On the anti-corruption, one of the things we will do is we will create an independent public prosecutor's office. So let's say I'm a minister today and my lawyer is the Attorney General's department. He advises me. Tomorrow I steal and rob. The same lawyer is supposed to put a case against me. This system hasn't worked for the last 40 years. Therefore, we need a change. That is why we are arguing that we will create an independent public prosecutor. I'm not coming up with these fancy stories. We will go, we will look for the houses and the wealth people have hidden abroad. We will bring it, solve Sri Lanka's economic problems. This is a nonsensical conversation. If you look at world history, nothing happens like that. We will certainly bring the Stolen Assets Recovery Law. The United Nations has a program on that. We will start implementing it. We are committed to make sure that corruption is minimized and committed to punish those who have robbed this country.
The President on Tuesday called Parliament to prepare for the presidential elections. What is the sentiment within the SJB?
I'm very happy to hear the President say that. The Samagi Jana Balawegaya, we are ready for any election. If there is a need for a parliamentary election before that, then the President also can decide whether he wants to have a parliamentary election or Parliament can get together together and Parliament could also resolve and decide that it wants to have a parliamentary election, then that's the people's will. If that is the majority is thinking like that, we are ready for a parliamentary election too.
The SJB wants the leader Sajith Premadasa and President Ranil Wickremesinghe, their opinion, their political ideologies have once been quite similar. So is there a possibility that the two sides will work together once again?
I think this focus on the individual is what we need to get away from. And I said that earlier, we have been thinking that one individual will come and solve our problems since the presidential system came. And I think we Sri Lankans need to get out of that idea. I think if you asked me a different question, and if you said, will the SJB and the UNP get together? I would say that's always possible, because we are a democratic party and we have a certain philosophy. Our philosophy is not the UNP philosophy in that. We believe in that philosophy, but we also emphasize the social market economy. We emphasize the protection of the elderly, the vulnerable. We emphasize that. So these are certain emphasis differences. So with the United National Party, we have no issue.
But the United National Party is led by Ranil Wickremesinghe, who is the head of state, and I think the policies, the reason for the breakaway was his ideologies or policies. That's what most of the MPs stated. So in a possibility or a potential situation, probable situation where you work with the UNP, you will work with.
The SJB was formed because the UNP's constitution has changed, and you have had a leader for 30 years. Since 1994, and I don't think there's any democracy in the world in which, within a party that the same individual has really lasted for a lifetime. And I must say this, it's not individuals, making individual decisions that walked out and formed this SJB. Everywhere when we went in the country, people told us the UNP had been in power for a long time, and now the UNP has been continuously in opposition, and they kept telling us there must be a change, there must be a change. So it's a public and the UNP voter that really wanted us to step out, and that's how this SJB came about. So that situation the UNP needs to correct.
If the SJB comes to power, are you saying that the SJB might renegotiate this agreement with the global lender?
The agreement with the International Monetary Fund will continue. The details of that always will be discussed and amended. And that's nothing new to the International Monetary Fund either. You see, the International Monetary Fund sets out the broad expectations, and then the details are left to the government of the day in how to actually deliver on those expectations. So that's what we certainly will do. We cannot let there be social unrest and the cost of social unrest over the cost and the benefits of a reform program.
State-owned enterprises, you have spoken about privatizing or the requirement to restructure these enterprises. Are you in agreement with the process that's ongoing?
So this government has set a process in, and we are happy that there is a process. We just want to make sure that all the transactions are transparent. We want to make sure, right, that the bids are competitive. We want to make sure, and that is above board. And then if it is going in that direction and they're satisfying those criteria, there's no reason for us to oppose it. If that criteria is not being followed, then we will oppose it.
And now taking you to an issue at the centre of national attention, Inspector General of the Police Deshabandhu Tennakun revealed that the former President Maithripala Sirisena has expressed his readiness to record a statement with the CID and added that it will be recorded within the next 48 hours. The IGP added that if there is a threat to the life of the former president and of his family, necessary steps will be taken as per the advice of the Minister of Public Security, Derana English, to secure the president and his family.
Later,
the Easter Sunday attacks happened. I know who planned it. All the terrorists who are being tried before the trial at Banau were apprehended during my tenure. However, the mastermind behind the attack has not been revealed yet. I know who executed the attacks. If the court orders to make a statement with this regard, I am ready to do so. However, the judges are responsible to maintain the confidentiality of my statement.
Former President Maithripala Sirisena's statement led to public outrage, while several lawmakers urged the law enforcement authorities to arrest him and conduct investigations. Amid such developments, Minister of Public Security Derana English ordered Inspector General of Police Deshabandhu Tennakun to launch an investigation into the matter. The IGP confirmed that the CID will record a statement from the former president soon.
The CID has informed Maithripala Sirisena to arrive at the CID to record a statement. The former president has responded positively. Therefore, his statement will be recorded within the next 48 hours. The investigations will be conducted based on his statement. If he fails to provide a statement, legal action will be taken against him. If such a situation arises, we can take suitable steps to secure the former president's safety based on the instructions of the Public Security Minister. Calls for the former president to be arrested by people who reacted to that statement publicized by the media are completely baseless. Firstly, we will record the former president's statement, and after the investigations, if it is necessary, we can take such a decision.
Now, as the political arena reverberated with reactions to former President Maithripala Sirisena's recent startling revelations, opposition leader Sajith Premadasa pledged that a government under his leadership will conduct a transparent and an unbiased investigation to reveal the truth behind the Easter Sunday attacks. Now let's have a look at some of the comments expressed by politicians over the controversial statement made by former President Maithripala Sirisena.
I felt sad about myself for supporting him in the 2015 presidential election. I had no problem with him until now. Following this statement, I was thoroughly disappointed. He needs to be arrested immediately.
The court has ordered him to pay compensation. However, he says that he knows who the perpetrators are. We have problem with whether there is another political motive behind it. Why did he hide this for such a long time?
Since the election is close by, Maithripala Sirisena has now remembered the mastermind of the Easter Sunday attack. That is why we lodged a complaint with the CID to arrest him and produce him before court.
He said he received fresh information about this 3 weeks ago. Then why did he wait for 3 weeks? He is legally bound to reveal it as soon as he is privy to such information.
The police needs to find out who revealed that information to the former president, because that person has known this information all this time.
I was surprised to hear that statement. Legal action has to be executed against him. He has to reveal everything before court. If he can't, that means he too is involved in this.
We request him to reveal the truth. What is the truth that Maithripala Sirisena knows about the Easter Sunday attack? I too have a revelation. The Samaga Jana Balawegaya will take on the responsibility of conducting a transparent and unbiased investigation in order to reveal the truth.
Now, in other political news, leader of the National People's Power, Derana English, claimed that the presidential election will be held either on the 28th of September or on the 5th of October this year, and added that his party will not give up politics even if the party loses the upcoming election. Speaking at a rally, the NPP leader emphasized that proper investigations will pave the path to identify those responsible for the Easter Sunday attack, and went on to say that an NPP police collective will be established in May, which will be headed by an officer who led the Easter Sunday attacks investigation. Hypothesizing a scenario where the NPP fails to secure 113 seats in Parliament, NPP leader Derana English revealed that the NPP will join with any party with whom they can agree.
The first rally of National People's Power leader Derana English's Canada tour was held yesterday in Toronto, Canada.
Talks on grabbing power are in the forefront of public discourse at the moment. Recently, Basil Rajapaksa claimed that they prefer a general election to be held first. Why do they want it first? That is because they will lose miserably in a presidential election. They only have two options. They have to either support Ranil Wickremesinghe or nominate another candidate. If they support Ranil, the SLPP will be ruined. If they nominate a candidate, they won't be able to secure the votes they would have been able to secure in a general election. They have been presented with an impossible dilemma. That is why they have been lobbying to have a general election first. According to the constitution, President Ranil Wickremesinghe has the sole authority to decide which election will be held first. If President Wickremesinghe decides to dissolve the parliament today, from tomorrow onwards, President Wickremesinghe will be stripped of his power. According to the current political climate, the presidential election will be held either on the 28th of September or on the 5th of October. Power will change hands in Sri Lanka between those two dates. For the first time in Sri Lanka's history, let's unite the aspirations of the people, the leaders and the government. Let's say hypothetically that we lose the election. Then from the next day onwards, we will continue to engage in politics. We will not give up.
අත්තරින්නේ හොඳයි.
මම මුලින්ම කියනවා මම වෙන බයියක 2019 දී ඉතින් ගෝඨාභයට තමයි ඡන්ද දුන්නේ. එතන හේතුනේ අතරම මම ජාතිකවාදී දේශපාලනයක් විශ්වාස කරන කෙනෙක්. ඔය යහපාලන ආණ්ඩුව කාලේ හම්බන්තොට වරාය වගේ දේවල් ගොඩක් විකුණන්න ගත්තා. ඒක ඔබතුමාලා මොකද ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් කරන මැදිහත් වීම?
මම ජාතික සම්පත් පිළිබඳ ප්‍රශ්නය.
On the matter of national assets, we will have discussions with the trade unions and other stakeholders. We will try to delay those transactions by 6 months to save them from being sold off. We do not need a new presidential commission or a new investigation.
ඒ ටික බේරගන්න පුළුවන්.
කතෝලික ජනතාව ශ්‍රී ලංකාව වෙසෙන අයයි සහ කැනඩාවේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා කතෝලික සංගමය බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා පාස්කු පෙරහැරට දෙන විසඳුම මොකක්ද කියලා.
අලුත් ජනාධිපති කමිෂන් අලුත් පරීක්ෂණ අවශ්‍ය නැහැ.
There are some areas where investigations have to be completed. If those investigations are carried out, we can find out those responsible. Officials who carried out thorough investigations regarding the Easter Sunday attack are with us today. In May, we will establish our police collective. An officer who properly led the Easter Sunday attacks investigation will head that collective. So don't worry, we will have an investigation definitely.
ඒ ගැන අපි පරීක්ෂණ තියෙනවාමයි.
ඔබට යම්කිසි අඩු නියෝජනයක් ලැබුණොත් පාර්ලිමේන්තු මැතිවරණය කුමන කණ්ඩායම සමග එකතු වෙනවද පාලන බලය සඳහා?
මහ මැතිවරණය කලින් පැවැත්වුවා.
If the parliamentary election is held first and we secure less than 113 seats, and if the citizens' mandate given to us is to sit in the opposition, we will sit in the opposition. If the people have given us a chance to form a government but without 113 seats in parliament, then at that point we will join with those who we can agree with.
එකතු කරගත හැකි කණ්ඩායම් එක්ක ආණ්ඩුව හදනවා.
Now in other local news, during a special operation, 4 suspects involved in a major motorcycle theft racket were arrested with 116 motorcycle number plates in their possession. Meanwhile, the corpse of a person who died under suspicious circumstances was recovered in a thicket on the roadside in the Pitapula area of Haputale. With that, here's a look at more news across the island in brief.
In a major motorcycle theft racket, police arrested 4 suspects involved in a long-running racket of stealing motorcycles, disassembling them and selling off the parts. During the operation, police recovered 160 motorcycle number plates that were found in their possession. These arrests were made following a special investigation conducted by the Anuradhapura Divisional Investigation Unit. The arrested suspects were produced before the Nochiaga Magistrates Court today. Meanwhile, the corpse of a person who died under suspicious circumstances was recovered in a thicket on the roadside in the Pitapole area of Haputale. According to police, the deceased person was identified as a 33-year-old resident of Idalagas Hinne area in Boatta. Haputale police is conducting further investigations regarding the incident. In the meantime, a sudden fire erupted at a textile store in Colombo 6 this evening. The fire brigade of the Colombo Municipal Council dispatched 10 fire trucks to help extinguish the flames. In other local news, a video of an individual involved in organized crime attacking a rival gang member has been released to the public. Following the video, the police revealed that the 41-year-old suspect in question was apprehended by police at the St. Sebastian apartment complex in the Keselwatta area.
Welcome back. Now, the Coconut Development Authority revealed that the average coconut prices of the country have increased 0.79% to 69,225 rupees per 1,000 nuts at an auction held on the 21st of March. The highest price was 77,300 rupees for 1,000 nuts, down from 79,100 rupees a week ago, while the lowest 63,000 was down from 65,000 rupees. A total of 555,561 coconuts were offered at the auction, where 334,246 nuts were sold. Wholesale prices were 95 to 100 rupees for large nuts and 80 to 85 rupees per small nut in the week on the 21st of March. Meanwhile, the price of a packet of milk powder will be reduced from midnight tonight. Following the price reduction, the price of a 1 kilogram packet of milk powder will come down by 150 rupees, while the 400-gram packet will see a 60 rupee reduction. Commenting in this regard, Minister of Trade Nalin Fernando added that this price reduction was materialized following the benefit received as a result of the rupee's appreciation against the US dollar. Now here's a look at some corporate news in brief.
UB Finance PLC recently announced that the company has resolved to issue shares by way of a rights issue. The company aims to issue a total of 423,798,049 new ordinary shares at 60 cents per share in a bid to raise a total of 254,278,829 rupees. Through this rights issue, the company expects to comply with the minimum regulatory core capital requirements stipulated by the central bank and create a buffer in the process for smooth business operations. In the meantime, Cooperative Insurance Company PLC announced the appointment of a director to the company. Accordingly, Suraj Wickramasinghe was appointed as a non-independent, non-executive director with effect from the 15th of March. In its corporate disclosure, the company revealed that the newly appointed director has no shareholding in the company as of the date of appointment. In other corporate news, Bahira Farms PLC announced the resignation of a company director recently. Shamila Mary Bernadette Jayasekara resigned from the position of independent non-executive director. The company disclosed that the resigned director did not have any relevant interest in shares issued by the company.
And with that, we wrap up tonight's edition of Ada Derana First at 9. Stay in touch with us on www.adaderana.lk for the latest developments around the clock. Thank you. Have a great night.
For news and information you can trust 24 hours a day, visit adaderana.lk.